Alrighty, so normally I would do actual gameplay and show you, but we literally just got done streaming, so if you want to subscribe and hang out in the stream next time we do one, I normally do one whenever we summon for new characters on banners and everything. But we just tried out the final boss, Tarmiel, and I can't really give you like a definitive guide to it or anything, because it's very, very RNG based on just being able to beat challenge difficulty, but I was able to beat it twice out of like 6 or 7 attempts, which is pretty unfortunate because you do have to get a decent amount of the challenge tokens to be able to actually clear out the shop, which is very, very annoying. So this is the team that I went with. There's this team, and then there's a more like goddess-based team. I think the goddess team can get a much better score, if I'm not mistaken, but this team is a little bit more consistent, and I say a little bit because it's still kind of inconsistent. So basically, the whole idea here is that you're going to be going in, the Oath combats, by the way, that you're probably going to want to use are just the bottom 3, because you're not really going to have enough time and do enough cards on a good run to really get an ultimate off. Hopefully you can beat it within 8 stages, because it is terrible, and Merlin's not even really that good for it, so that's an easy 15% there. I definitely recommend you use crit chance food. In this first run that I did, I was just using regular attack food, but the crit chance food worked out a lot better. You definitely want to use Sariel here. Sariel is definitely the key. You want to have his holy relic for this, and you want to have Merlin link on for as much crit chance as you possibly can get, because crits are basically what's going to determine your run, unfortunately. So the idea is you can basically either rank up on Sariel and go for a level 2 taunt, or you can, I guess, save that potentially. I think ranking up is probably the better play, because a level 2 taunt lasts for 2 turns. And then you're using Kizuna to boost your basic stats, so hopefully you can do a little bit more damage. So let's kind of skip in a little bit here. For the first turn, I can't even remember what I really did on this first run. I think I just got lucky, because this was literally like my first run, never even attempted to do it before yet. So we ranked up with Kizuna to get a level 2 buff card first. Sorry, I'd like to show the game music, but I'm going to be talking in the background, and it'd kind of be annoying, unfortunately. But we buff up, and then we use a stance, and you can see the big thing here is the 2 side units that he has on both sides. In this first phase, you do not want to kill those at all. If you kill those, it's basically going to give him an overall stat increase, which is going to do really bad things if he ends up getting enough of those. So you can see with the regular counters that we're doing, it's actually not too crazy. So this first one, we don't crit, we deal 128k, which is not super far in. That's maybe like a little over 20% of his HP. But then with the second one that we get, we do crit on this one, and you can see we do 335, which is a really big chunk of his health. So critting is by far the way that you're going to beat this the easiest. But going into the second phase is also pretty rough, and you also want to have another counter basically first turn. If not, you want to have one still active from your your first phase, because as you can see here, he ends up his side ball things end up attacking and countering, so he gets a little bit of a stat increase there. Luckily, because he's so little health, he's literally, what is that, 10, like a little over 10% HP. We just pretty much rank up here, and then use a level 3 Sariel card to go ahead and kill the first phase. So because we already have a backup taunt in hand, we were basically good to go at that point. I think this was just kind of almost like best case scenario kind of deal, which I hate the fact that it's just so RNG based to the point to where you're like, if you don't pull a counter, you're dead. If you don't crit with your counters, you might be dead. So it's really rough. So moving into the second phase is where he becomes 3-headed Tarmiel, so the old school like blue Tarmiel. I pretty much just went for max stuff here, so I rank up to get the, what did I do, level 3? Yeah, I did the level 3 counter for Sariel, which was probably going to be, overall best case scenario there. And we did a level 2 Kizuna buff, so everybody gets a good increase on basic stats. So right here is very interesting. In the second phase, when you're fighting Tarmiel, on his right side, if you kill the ball to his right, it's going to increase your basic stats. I'm not honestly too positive on how much of a basic stat increase it is. I should probably check that. But if you kill the one on the right, it's going to boost your basic stats. If you kill the one on the left, it's going to boost his basic stats, which is bad. Don't want that, because obviously I think it's an overall stat boost, so it's going to give him regeneration rate and just a whole bunch of stats that you do not want him to have, because he's going to heal up a lot after each attack. Unfortunately, your team here's pretty much all AoE except for counters, so you can't really control which ball you're going to kill unless you just don't attack, which is probably for the best. So you want to just deal in mainly counters. I think all of the runs that we did, the right ball attacks, gets countered, gives me stats. The left ball attacks, gets countered, gives him stats. So we're basically on an even playing field at this point. But the more basic stats, or the more stats he gets in general, the more he's going to heal back. So we did 337. He healed a little bit, which wasn't too bad there. And then he counters the second one, and we kill. We crit on that one, almost doing 1,000,000 damage, which is fantastic. But obviously, like I said, that's pretty much best case scenario using level 3 counter. And then the last one that we did where we won was also pretty rough, because this one, I don't think we got great counters here, but I think we were able to crit and deal enough damage. So I don't know. It's really RNG based. The first run that I did, I was actually using attack food instead of crit chance, which I don't know how I just got lucky enough with the crits there, but even using crit chance food, even using Merlin as your link, even using Death Pierce in the back, it still is pretty tough to crit these guys. So I was able to get a really good crit there at the beginning, and then the second hit, do I even crit here? Okay, I do crit for 487. So that's with a level 1 counter, I think. Let me make sure there. So yeah, that's with a level 1 counter. We boosted up to get a level 2 Kizuna buff off, and then a level 1 counter was able to kill just because I got 2 crits. So unfortunately, that's basically all the info I can give you. I'm going to definitely keep an eye out and try to see if there's any sort of like fast farm teams. Somebody in my chat earlier was saying that they were able to use the Rimuru ultimate team to sort of fast farm, but there's a little bit of extra stuff that you have to deal with it, or to do with it. So I'm going to try to figure that out. Maybe I'll make another video on fast farming, but for now, this is how you're beating challenger difficulty, which is very unfortunate because it's very inconsistent and you're not going to be able to easily farm points here. So that's going to be a lot of stamina down the drain on all the lost attempts, but unfortunately, it is what it is. That's kind of just how it goes at the moment. So hopefully this helped. I know it wasn't super insightful, and I would have loved to have just ran you through it, but like I said, it's very inconsistent, and I don't want to waste another 30 stamina pots and be here for an hour while I'm trying to kind of get this out so I can go to bed. But either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll have more content and stuff out like that for the newest patch as we go through the week. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Alrighty, so Rigatoni has been very gracious enough to let me see an actual fast farming team, and unfortunately I tried it myself, and you need to have a 6/6 Rimuru, which I only have 4/6, so this is probably kind of niche, and you might not be able to do it, but you can if you meet the requirements. Yeah. He's using attack crit damage on Rimuru, HP defense on everybody else because you just kind of want to survive the first turn. Pretty much the same gimmick as with the fast farm Sariel team, but unfortunately I guess he's just a little bit tankier than Sariel was, so you kind of need those extra ult levels here. So the idea is he's using Rimuru, Scotty, Kizuna with ult, like extra ult gauge Merlin in the back, using ult food so that way you automatically start with 2 ultimate move gauge, moving cards in the beginning to get, you know, Rimuru's ultimate, and then there's just kind of some weird like funny tactics that you do, so you can go ahead and start. But he was basically telling me that if you get really bad RNG and Tarmiel has like level 3 like attack cards like ready to go, it's possible he's gonna just absolutely dominate.
I think we're fine. 2 gold is an instant just forfeit.
Yeah,
you can't win.
So oh, you need to
basically you just double attack. Yeah, you're gonna double attack or move a card, just basically get his ultimate, so that way you can steal his buffs the next turn, and then you get the pierce buff, and then you'll Attack with Kizuna. Please don't die. Okay, we're chilling.
Yeah, apologies by the way for the Discord quality. It is what it is.
Yeah. The person that'll get the Tarmiel link, by the way, is whoever has less HP. That's the red unit, because he's blue and he goes for red unit. So now we will Kizuna attack. We will ult, and then you have to use a buff removal unit. Any buff removal unit works. It doesn't really matter who. But he just gets so much HP from his buffs that we apply right here that it just doesn't kill. Boop. 1.2 is like the amount you want, it seems.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of the sweet spot, because he's doing 1.2 mil, and then you can see the Abyss kills here, but I was doing just a little bit over 1 million, and he still had, like, I think 20% HP left, so
Yeah.
I was just not able to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then you can just do this. Literally, you don't have to do anything. You can just move cards, probably, and you're probably going to wipe. So...
Yeah, because the Abyss effect is already on and good to go at this point, the second phase Tarmiel is going to get obliterated, so...
Yeah.
Pretty fast, pretty easy, very consistent, honestly. The only thing you have to worry about is Tarmiel getting too many gold cards, I guess, turn 1, and then maybe killing off one of your members. But way more consistent. I'm very sad that I'm not going to be able to do this, because so far farming this is looking terrible. So you actually get halfway decent score from doing it too, which is kind of funny.
It's decent, but I'm pretty sure the guys are at like 12,000 points right now somehow.
Yeah, they're gonna be farming pretty hard, so... Well, I don't know. If you have the units for it, by all means, I would recommend it, because it's going to make farming these points a lot faster. But if you're in the same boat as me, rest in peace. But thanks so much to Tony for showing me the strat and everything, and letting me sort of watch him do it and everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for me. But yeah, I'll leave a link to his channel and everything so you guys can go check him out. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one.